This is the Top 5 Tuesday, and we're counting down the 5 most impactful free agent signings of all time.
Of all time, baby.
And just to recap, my list at 5, 4, and 3, I had Reggie White when he left Philly to sign with the Packers at number 5. Chauncey Billups, Mr. Big Shot, who signed with the Pistons, his 5th NBA team in 2002 before things finally started to click for the Pistons and for him. And Randy Johnson, who had that one-and-done year with the Astros, then signed with Arizona as a free agent, an upstart organization, and 3 years later they had won the World Series. So that's 5, 4, and 3 for me before we continue. And for you, Mr. Brooks?
5 for me was Brett Favre, him signing with the Minnesota Vikings. Clearly that worked out, folks. And number 4 for me was Roger Clemens, him signing with the Yankees the first time, not the second, as they went on to win, of course, a World Series championship. And number 3 for me was Reggie White. What he did once he came from the Philadelphia Eagles to the Green Bay Packers, made a Pro Bowl every year he was there, and was certainly the Minister of Defense.
One of the best teams never to go to a Super Bowl.
True.
Randall Cunningham, seriously.
No, absolutely.
I still don't know how.
Good.
They were unbelievably good.
I agree.
Number 2?
Number 2 for me, I'm going to go with Shaquille O'Neal. I think him signing with the Lakers back, July 24th, 1996, where he signed a 6-year deal for $123 million bones. That made him the second highest player at the time behind Michael Jordan, who was making $30 million a year. But this was a big move because it ended up being the beginning. 4 years later, they would go on and win 3 consecutive titles. They went to a 4th NBA championship in 2004, the finals. They couldn't get it done. But this was a run that people are still trying to catch up with. And, you know, I'm so glad because it was one of the great downfalls of one of the greatest players in the NBA, that being Kobe Bryant, because people said he couldn't win one without Shaq. He's proven them wrong in doing that now. He's won 2 without Shaq. But part of it is I think that Shaq, coming there in 96, really helped the Lakers return to an elite status. Number 2 for me is Shaquille O'Neal signing with the Lakers back in 1996, my man.
All right, number 2 on my list, Drew Brees, Austin's own. When he became a free agent because the Chargers decided that Phillip Rivers was more important to their future, and Drew Brees became a free agent, there were only 2 teams, reportedly, that had any interest in signing him and his surgically repaired shoulder.
Crazy.
The Miami Dolphins and the New Orleans Saints.
Funny.
And the Saints said, if you sign here, you'll play right away.
Okay.
6 years, $60 million, which sounds like a bargain. I'm sure that they're going to renegotiate that. Coming off shoulder surgery, playing for one of the most moribund franchises, not in NFL history, in sports history. The New Orleans Saints have been the butt of sports jokes for years and years and years. I think that's the franchise that actually gave NFL films their launch. I mean, they would have no blooper footage, no NFL follies if it wasn't for, you know, the fleur-de-lis on the side of the helmet that is the New Orleans Saints. And you can never say that anymore because now they're champions. All of the strife with Hurricane Katrina and all the fallout that came from that, they're still having issues now with BP and the tar in the Gulf, etc., impacting jobs down there. And through it all, here's Drew Brees on television and at charity events and doing ESPN promos, and he's just the guy at the forefront of it. And I truly believe that he and his wife are going to live for the rest of their lives in that community now, because he knows just how impactful it's been. This one transcends money and it transcends championships. Drew Brees, number 2 on my list of the most impactful free agent signings.
I'm going to apologize to the Austin Westlake product for not having him on my top 5 list. But I'm going to tell you right now, he deserves to be on somebody's list. I'm glad you put him on there for sure. Number 1 for me, prime time Deion Sanders.
Oh, you gotta be.
No, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. The 2 sports superstar Deion Sanders, he signed a 7-year. Check out how much money this guy signed for. This was back, of course, in 1995, September. 7-year, $25 million contract with the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
That is a steal nowadays. When you got guys like Nate Clements bringing home $36 million. This guy was signed 7-year, $25 million. And what did it mean to him? He had just won a Super Bowl championship with the 49ers. He proved that shutting down one side of the field was valuable enough to help the Cowboys also win the title. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's a debate. There will be debate in this room about Deion Sanders and his place with the Dallas Cowboys, whether he was the best corner ever. But anybody who doesn't put him as the best cornerback ever of all time, how could he not be the best Cowboys cornerback of all time. That's just kind of an
see.
argument that I have with this man right here going on. But he earned a $1 million signing bonus. You talk about Jerry Jones cashing in. He ended up being one of the most dynamic players to ever play the game of football. Number one for me. Prime time Deion Sanders. Of course, it had to be a DB. I'm a DB, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Argue with that.
Well, I'm embarrassed for you that you don't have my number one on your top 5. Well, I guess you did. You had Shaquille O'Neal?
Oh, yeah.
Where do you have him?
I have him number 2. He was number 2 for me.
Shaquille O'Neal's number 1. 7 years, $120 million back in 1996. Shaq was bigger and stronger. And what's funny is we knew this was coming. He was already, doing movies. He was already doing rap. He was already a media mogul. We all knew he was going to L.A. It was the worst kept secret, maybe in sports history. And when he showed up, boy, did he show up. 31 points and 15 rebounds a game with a smile on his face. Playing with kids, having a good time. You never saw him, well, I mean, you did see him swear from time to time, but I mean, he was basically just a big child. Back to back NBA championships once he got settled. And what puts him at number 1 on this list, as opposed to some of the others in the top 5, because if you notice, one thing my top 5 all have in common, they all delivered a championship.
Okay, fair enough.
That was my criteria.
You
had to deliver the goods.
Okay.
But for me, with Shaquille, it's the staying power. The Lakers are still good. From that move...
Oh, man, they were good before him.
No,
George
they weren't.
Michael,
No, they
Kareem
weren't.
Abdul-Jabbar. No, I'm talking about in their legacy. Come on, John.
Oh, I'm talking about from 91 to 96 before they realized they were struggling and needed this move.
When the Cowboys stopped before they got Tony Romo, too, but you don't give him props for that.
Oh, wait a minute. You're going to knock this. You picked Deion Sanders. The Cowboys just won back-to-back Super Bowls and then went to go get Deion to deliver a title.
He helped sustain that. And
helped sustain what had already been built.
He did that with Barry Switzer of all people.
You should have left me alone. Shaquille, the Lakers are still cashing in on that deal.
Whatever, dude.
And he is still keeping them relevant.
They're cashing in because Kobe Bryant is there. Come on, man. Don't give Shaq too much credit. Now, John, come on, John.
Don't give Shaq too much credit.
John, you just, come on, man.
And talk about a steal.
Frustrating here.
7 years, $120 million. Kobe's making $30 million a year.
He deserves every bit of it, too.
Yeah.
Because he's got more rings than Shaq.
And you know what?
How about that?
If Shaq didn't get there in 96,
how about that?
Kobe would have not had one ring.
He's got more rings than Shaq, too, sir. How about that?
What about it? What's he going to buy that he couldn't buy anyway?
He's worth it.
No. He wouldn't have one ring if Shaq wasn't there when he got there.
Oh, now it's come on, man.
Right.
Come on, man.
How's that taste? All right, those are our 5 most impactful free agent signings in the history of sports.
Indeed.